First of all, let's add a little bit more rock texture to this. We want to do everything just very slightly, so if we just go to cgtextures.com, then we can just scroll down. Let's see, here we have a rock, and let's find a nice rock. Maybe cliffs. Cliffs always has some very simple texture on it that we can use. So I like this one, but let's just quickly look a little bit further. Yeah, actually, I like this one. So you can just sign up to CG Textures free, and then you can download 15 MBs per day. And I will just click on the 700 by 700. Just download it, and then just click and drag it into Photoshop, and drag it here to the side. Let's drag this into the diffuse. Let's call it rock, and let's rasterize the layer, and now we can adjust the levels a bit more. So because we want to have it a bit darker, something like this looks okay. And then just press Alt with your move tool to duplicate the layers, and then just duplicate it all across like this. Select all the layers and merge them. So now we have this one field. So now if we just experiment with the blending layers that we have. So soft light actually looks nice if you just set the fill lower. And what you want to do now is, with the layer selected, press this little square with a hole in it. That will make a mask for it, and then pick your bucket tool and fill that mask with black. So now as you can see, everything is gone. But if I would just grab my drawing tablet, now we can literally draw the texture on this on where we want it. So again, I would advise using a draw tablet for this, since it's just a lot easier. So now you can just over the block, just it doesn't need to be very exact because it's just very slightly, but just draw where you see rock. Like this. And then later on we can just edit it to have it, to give it a bit more texture to it. And we will do the same for the grass, and we can leave the sand because the sand is just far out of distance, so we can do that in the engines. We can just edit it. Okay, so it still looks a little bit strong right now, so but just look past it for a while because we can edit it later on. Now let's do the back of the terrain. The texture is already looking nicely, so it is going well. Okay, so almost done. This is last part over here. Okay, so double check that you have everything. Okay, so let's have a look. So over here I missed a few spots. Okay, that's looking alright. So now just low down. First of all, let's just quickly look a bit more at the blending modes to see if we can find something that looks even better. Now we have everything in our box. Soft light is still best. And just lower down the fill a bit more. Just slightly so we can add some text to it. And maybe we can adjust the levels a little bit. Let's see what that does. Oh, the mask is still selected. Make sure that you select the image when you adjust your levels. Okay. Okay, so let's save this. And let's see how it looks in Mudbox. So, refresh. Looks like I can't see it very well. Let me just reload it and maybe then it's just not too strong yet. So textures, there we go. So just had to reload. So that's already looking nicer. Maybe let's make it a little bit stronger. Of course, it also needs to look good in Photoshop because, of course, we can edit it later on, but it isn't always accurate in Mudbox than it is in the engines, of course. So refresh. Okay, so I can see it a little bit. It's not too strong, but for now it's good because I know that it's there. So for the grass, you can do the grass. You do not need to. It is just a preference. So I think I will actually not do the grass. Maybe I will maybe just do the grass on top. So let's just see how it looks. Because sometimes I do the grass, sometimes not. So in CG Textures, just go to nature and then here we have grass. And this one looks like some nice grass for our terrain. And just drag and drop it in again. Place it here and whoops, and duplicate it. Across the entire canvas. Okay. So let's quickly just edit the levels a bit more. And let's edit also the hue and saturation because it's a bit too much right now. Something like this. Then do the same as with the rock. Add a new layer mask. Pick your bucket tool and set the color to black. And click. And now if we pick our brush again, we can just zoom in and we can start painting on it again. So I will just paint a little bit like this, just to cover it up. And now first of all, let's play a bit with the blending modes. So let's see what we can use. I think soft light does the job the best again. Soft light is a really nice blending mode, so and just set the fill to a little bit lower, about 68. And now I can just, now I can just start painting. like this. I won't spend too much time on it to make it really precise because of this tutorial. So I would advise spending a lot more time on this, making it look very nice and crisp. So let's go down a bit more. Still looks a bit too green and too saturated, so we'll fix that later on. Let's actually leave those gaps in between the rocks open, because I think the grass will be too strong for that. So at the end this will all be just some nice small details, so just keep that in mind. And of course in the engines you will overlay this texture with different textures for if you are looking up closer, then you will also have different grass textures on it. So it's just to give it some texture. So almost done, just a little bit over here. So that's about alright. So first of all, let's lower down the saturation a bit more, to give it more a little bit just of that texture. So let's set it almost all the way down. So let the soft light do its work for the texturing, and let's set the fill to about 50%. Okay, so let's save it. Let's refresh, or let's actually just assign it again. And here we go. So of course it's blurred right now because of the scale of this texture, but it is there. So yeah, that's looking nicely. Maybe we can play around a little bit more with the lighting to see different results. I actually like that one too. Well, anyway, so now we've done this. Last thing that you want to do is, so we have now a nice terrain. It's looking great. So it's ready for exporting to the engines. But we just want to export a new height map from this terrain and a normal map, because Unreal Engine supports normal maps as only one. So just pick our old my extraction operation and just select a displacement map and a normal map. So for the displacement map, low poly is already selected. And let's select our height poly in the source models. We have the displacement map. Let's set the method to raycasting. And let's set the search distance to 9. Or actually let's set it to 10, because we now have a higher environment. So let's set it to 10 for now. Let's call this TIFF 16-bit, and let's call it final height map. Save it. Okay, and then also for the norm map, let's see how it looks. And let's name this terrain underscore normal map, and let's save. So let's first of all pick the displacement, and let's actually save our scene first, because sometimes it crashes. So saves Mudbox preview, and I will just save it and extract the maps. This can take a few seconds. Okay. So if we have a look, so here's our final height map. As you can see, we might need to change the levels a little bit more, as you can see, because the World Machine height map is darker, but we'll see about that. And here's our norm map that we also generated. So the norm map and the final height map. So that's about it. We have all our maps now. We have our norm map, our height map, and we have our final diffuse map. So now we can start by exporting everything to various engines. So yeah, in the last volumes we went over on how to make a blaze plane in Maya, and we sculpted our terrain in Mudbox. We then went ahead and went into World Machine, where we edited our terrain and we made the final textures for our terrain. So in the next volume we will start by exporting our terrain to various engines like Unity 3D, CryEngine and Unreal Engine 4. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. My name is Amos Slegers, and thanks for watching 3dmotive.com.